That is a black man. He is a black man. Hear me. What's up? It's your girl OG, and I am here today with my February wrap up. We are not going to talk about the fact that it is well into March and I am posting a February book wrap up. We're not going to talk about that. I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm trying to be better. Show me a little grace while I show myself some grace. Let's get into it. I am on a journey of 60 books for this year. And what that means is I have to read at least 5 books a month. January started off a little rocky and I read 4. And then February, the same thing. I read 4 ish. And I'm going to get into what the ish means. So the first book I read is Erasure by Percival Everett. Reading that book, I felt like I wasn't smart enough for that book. I felt like there was a lot of things going on in that book that I didn't quite understand. And a lot of it was relating to the kind of segues and plays and meeting. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But if you read the book, then you might understand what I mean. As far as the entire plot, I understood. It was just the little sidebars and stuff. But I do feel like the book was really good, even though I struggled a little. After reading the book, I went and watched the movie, and it's some big differences in the movie compared to the book. So I will make a separate video kind of going into that a little bit more and comparing the book to the movie. And the movie is called American Fiction and it stars Jeffrey Wright. It has Issa Rae in it. But overall, I gave the book 4 stars. The second book I read, I heard so much about this author and this book and a few of his other books constantly. These books have been sitting on my shelf for at least a year or more. And I'm trying to do better about reading books that I own and stop buying new books all the time. Anyway, I decided to pick up All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. And when I say impressed, I mean impressed. I am one of those girls that love true crime. I love mystery thrillers. I like mystery murders. I like all types of things like that. And this book was all of that wrapped up in one. This book was set in rural Virginia, where the author is also from. This book just really gave me everything. I felt like I was solving a crime the entire time. I felt like a detective. I felt like I needed to go secure a crime scene. I needed to go talk to some people. Like I needed to tell reporters, back up. This is a closed scene. I just felt like I was a part of something. Like the book was really good. And I also had the pleasure of meeting S.A. Cosby in February as well. He came to Atlanta to do a book signing and a talk. It was amazing. After the talk, he went and actually signed some books, and I got some pictures with him, and I'll insert some pictures. But he was absolutely amazing. Such a nice guy. I am literally ready to read every book in his catalog. The next book that I will read of his will probably be Razor Blade Tears, because I hear so much about that and how amazing that is. I'm so excited about that. But I gave that book a 5 because it deserved it. It deserved a 5 and nothing less. Okay, this third book that I read was crazy. It was crazy. I read Rabbit by Miss Pat. Yeah. This author, I heard about her from social media. I saw clips of her talking about her life and things that happened to her on Shannon Sharp's show, and it still didn't compare to her book. This book had me feeling all different types of things. Like I was sad, I was happy, I was laughing, I was like, what the hell? Like it was a lot. It was a lot. And it's just amazing to me that you can read somebody's story like this, and it's just like understanding that people come from humble beginnings and then turn into these powerhouses. She has a show on TV called Miss Pat. I don't remember what it's called. She has a show on TV. I don't know if it's still on TV, but yeah, that's how I first heard about her. Shout out to you, Shanae, that tells me about the show and talked about this book all the time. And I'm so glad I finally read it. It broke my heart reading this book. Like, I do want to say that I'm so proud of Miss Pat, and I don't even know her. I don't even know her, but I'm so proud of her because she overcame so much at a young age. She had everything thrown at her, and she struggled. She did, but she eventually made it out and she made a way. And I just love, love, love a good triumphant story, a story where at the end someone wins, and at the end Miss Pat won, and I love that for her. So I gave that book a 5. And if I can give it a 6 or 7, I would, but it's out of 5. So yeah. Okay. The last book that I read in February, last ish book, is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Bryan. Now, this book, I won't say too much because the book is not released yet. I was blessed to get an arc of this book, but it releases on May 13th. I want you all to go get it. When I read this book, I compared it to the other 2 books. This book is book 3 in the Skyland series. So there's Before I Let Go, This Could Be Us, Can't Get Enough. And all 3 books center on one of the three friends in this friendship. The first book was Yasmin, the second book was Soledad, and this third book is Hendrix. I absolutely love her name, especially because it has an X at the end. But this book centers on Hendrix, and I think that it was a really good book. And I gave this book a 4.75 because, like I said, I did compare it to the two previous books. And Before I Let Go still has the number one spot for me. I will do a full in-depth video about Can't Get Enough when the book comes out. Hold me accountable, okay? I think I've said it before, but Kennedy Ryan just has a way with writing. She has a way with words. And I really, really appreciate that I can tell that she does a lot of research. I can tell that when she's writing a character with Alzheimer's or she's writing a character that's autistic, that she spoke to people, that she is being cognizant of their feelings or being understanding about a plight of a caregiver. I just feel like she really puts her all into her characters. And as a reader, it makes me feel things. It makes me feel like I know that character. It makes me empathetic. It just pulls at my heartstrings. And she's really, really good at doing that. I am a fan if you have not realized already. But like I said, I gave that book a 4.75. I really enjoyed it. Now, I have two final books that I finished in March technically, but the majority of the books were read in February. My book club was reading Legendborn. So we are deep in the Legendborn cycle right now. And we read Legendborn, and Legendborn took me through it. And when I say it took me through, it's because that's a big book. And I don't mean necessarily big in size, because it is big in size, but it's more so big in world building, big in characters, big in explanation, big in everything. Big, 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 big. So I was literally struggling because one thing I do, I like to tandem read. While I'm holding and reading the physical book, I like to also listen to the audiobook. And I especially like that for books like this that are big, jam, action packed books. Another thing about me is I love to annotate. So because I have a book club, I like to be able to annotate so I can come back and look at these notes while I'm in book club. If we talk about a different point, I want to be able to go back and say, yeah, I remember when this happened. This book took me through it because it was just like a lot. It was a lot. Now, I will say I enjoy it. These characters, besides Bree, are written as white characters, and I don't see it. I don't see it. They are black, okay? Selwyn, you cannot tell me he's not black. You can't tell me he's not black. Do you guys know Ashton Sanders? He was in Equalizer. I don't remember if it was one or two, but he gives like this angsty teen kind of vibe. He's very alternative, and he gives me Selwyn. There's no way that I see Selwyn as a white boy. That is a black man. He is a black man. Hear me. I enjoyed the book. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. My book club is reading Blood Marked right now, and that will be a part of my March wrap up video. But I gave Legendborn a 4. It's only because like I feel like it was a lot of world build, a lot of things. But like I said, a 4 is still a great rating. It's a great book. My last book was Birds of Prey by Granger. Now, if you've seen my videos on the Clock app about this series, I loved Maggie Gray. And I spoke about this, I believe, in my January wrap up. I loved Maggie Gray. The first family was not my favorite, but I feel like Granger redeemed herself with book 3. I do. Now, there was still some small grammatical errors, but I'm not going to hold that against her. It is what it is. As far as the plot, there was still some small plot holes, but nothing for me to give the book a bad rating. I really, really enjoyed this book. There was always something going on. There was a lot of drama. There was mystery. There's my favorite characters. There's romance. And I told y'all, I love, love, love Namir. I don't know. I think I have a thing for wolves. And that sounds crazy, but you know what I mean. Namir is my favorite character. I love Bellamy, even though there wasn't a whole lot of Bellamy in this book, but I'm sure that we'll get to that. I believe that Granger mentioned that there are going to be a few more books. I don't think that she has a cap on how many she's making in this series. So I will keep reading them. And I think eventually I'll probably do a wrap up if she finishes the series. I'll do a video wrapping up my thoughts on the entire series as a whole. It was a great book. I liked it. I recommend it. Magical HBCU, craziness, murders, all that. Yes. Yes. Sign me up. Yes. I appreciate you for watching this video. It took me a minute to make this video because I was finding every excuse not to make this video. But I'm glad that you subconsciously held me accountable and that I am here today and I'm showing up and I'm being present and doing what I need to do because we're trying to make this content and do things. I appreciate you. I thank you. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what books you read in February. If you read any of the books that I talked about in this video, let me know what you think. Let's talk about it in the comments. I appreciate you. And yeah, I will see you on the next video. Bye.